Hello, welcome to today's EMBN Show, where our main topic, our main focus will be a big-hitting, long-travel, long-range bike, which won't have too much impact on your pocket.
Steve, you have a good time in Sintra?
What do you mean?
Was it fun? Riding your bike in Portugal?
It was. Sintra is an incredible area, just to the north west of Lisbon. Fantastic trails in many respects.
Yeah, but no Sagres or Superbike.
No Sagres, no Superbike, but we did get to ride some very tasty bikes, which I cannot disclose just yet. But within the next 7 days.
You're 8. You have to check your days, Steve.
In the next 8 days, there will be news coming on the channel about something new. I'll give you a tip. I was out there with Chris Ackreg.
Oh, so you might be able to read between the lines there, I
read
suppose.
Between the lines. But and what he does on a bike is literally, I've lost words.
I've witnessed it in real life. It's very good.
But we have got some new bikes to report on this week, starting off with the Ibis Oso. Oso, it seems.
Well, it's not brand new, is it? I think
not new.
The news here is the price, which has come down to a very impressive $6,000.
Let's not underestimate how big news this is. Under $6,000 for a bike which is full carbon fibre. 750 watt-hour battery, Bosch Performance Line CX drive unit in there, which is already a fantastic unit. 155, 170mm travel with the option of taking it up to 190 with the fork. But
I've also seen you can change the stroke on the shock, add an extra 5mm, which I think you can do with the same shock. You just need to get it done at the Fox Service Centre. That then makes it a 170 rear travel bike, going up from 155. I've not seen that before, where people have advertised it as a bike that you can max out the rear travel as well.
Yeah, I mean, but Don, let's not get carried away with the detail when the price is like $6,000. It's an Axis GX. System on the bike, electronic shifting.
Solid build. It's got
how does it happen?
Fox Performance suspension, so not the top end, but still very good kit. It's got the Gen 4 Bosch CX motor, which is fine. It's not, it's not much of we wouldn't call it a downgrade from the Gen 5, really, but good value for money.
I think it's more than good value for money. I think you're going to be seeing bikes with that specification, which are closer to $10,000.
What's interesting, if you look at the Ibis website, it's also cheaper than a same build, a SRAM GX Access build regular bike, and it's an e-bike. Yeah,
I think this is a killer deal. It's a dream deal for many e-mountain bikers who are looking for a new bike. There's 4 sizes. What's quite interesting in the sizing is that the sizing goes in 40mm increments, which is quite different to many brands because a lot of the time, brands go from, say there's a size large, which has got a 475mm reach, and you go up to a size XL, which is 500mm reach. On these bikes, it's going like from like 460 to 500.
It's quite a big jump.
It's a big jump, isn't it? Which means actually there's a good range of sizes.
But you know what? I would find myself right in the middle of there, trying to decide which one to go for.
Yeah, some of the design features on there, one-piece swing and arm, quite a complex DW, Dave Weigel link. Now, Dave Weigel was the man behind the Iron Horse Sunday from back in the Sam Hill days. It's actually been beefed up in the motor guard area and on the down tube as well, which is really cool. Pre-wired to accept a lupine light up front. There's already a light on the back, which I think is a cool feature. Yeah. 220mm rotors, gravity casing tyres.
Yeah, big stuff.
Yeah, size-specific chainstays. I think it's 444 chainstay on the large and extra large, and I think it's a 436 chainstay on the medium. Actually, what's also different on the smaller bikes is it's 29-27.5 on the smaller bikes, whereas the large bikes are 29-29. I was concerned, actually, because in one of the images, it's actually got a Maxxis Dissector tyre on the back, which is quite a low-profile tyre. And I think...
Yeah, I won't see everybody.
No, but I think on the spec, it's actually got a Minion with DH case on there, which is great. But the bike, I just think it's an incredible price. And, it makes you think, when there's bikes with a similar spec, which are $8,000, $9,000, $10,000...
It's good to see. Is this a trend, start of a trend of
so.
people bringing their prices down?
I hope so. I hope so.
We shall see.
Right, a little bit more news here, action-wise. Duncan Shaw has been riding up a stream bed in Scotland. I take it's in Scotland.
Another brilliant trials rider.
Fantastic trials rider. Asking the question, do you think there's a future for e-mountain bike trials? And we've been talking about this for many years. I think there is. I think Duncan did a poll on his Instagram. I think 98% of people said that e-mountain bike trials should be a thing. I mean, I've just been with Chris Ackrig in Sintra.
I think, those two guys and yourself are proof that it doesn't necessarily need to be trials riding, but the style of the things you can ride up is almost benefits the trial rider sometimes, the way you can get up steep stuff on e-bikes.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I did one of the videos I did in Sintra was the fact that you, on an e-bike, you do the semi.
Oh, right. What?
It's like you're not sat down and you're not sat down and you're not stood up. You've got to go hover over the seat to allow yourself to soak up the bumps and keep your centre of gravity down at the same time.
That wrecks your legs.
It does wreck your legs, yeah.
There you go.
But I've been running. I've been building up my
I
legs.
feel like I've heard all about it, Steve. I'm impressed.
But folks, what do you think about the future of e-mountain bike trials? I mean, we've got the power stage at World Cup race. We did have the power stage. But I think it actually, if we bring more trials riding into our bike parks and our trail centres.
Adding dabs to the times. Who knows what the future is of that stuff.
Yeah. Don, how's the knee coming on?
It's getting there. I actually rode a bike last week, first time getting out there. So gently ease myself into it. And looking forward to spring when the weather gets a bit better and I can actually push it a bit. But I am starting to ride every week now. The plan is to do at least a day, where I can get out and do a bit of something.
Yeah, for those who are not familiar, Don had ACL
4 months
reconstruction.
Now. Exactly that, 4 months now. But I saw the surgeon, he said, don't do anything mental for 12 months. And then then I'm free to do something mental again. So yeah, steady as I go for a while.
Actually, we've got one final bit of news. We were out in Italy a few weeks ago and the guys at Evolve Bike Shop in Finale Ligure kindly introduced us to a brake bedding machine. I think really crucial bit of kit because if you put fresh brake pads on new discs and go down the hill, it's unlikely your brakes will work. So this is what happens when the pros do it. One of the big problems or dangers of a big mountain adventure on an e-mountain bike is brake fade or failure. We're here at Evolve in Finale to see how you can combat that. Now, there's two aspects to brake pads. There's brake failure, which is possibly because your pads are worn out. So it's always a great idea to take a spare set of pads with you on a big mountain adventure. The second aspect to brake pad fitting, is actually fitting them correctly and making sure they're bedded in. Now, I'm joined by Danilo at Evolve. Danilo, what's the problems with fitting a brake pad and bedding it in correctly?
Bedding it correctly is very important just because the first point is that usually the customers try to bed by himself in a parking lot, and not usually work well. So it's very difficult to do a good job. So the first problem is the fading or the possibility of glaze them.
Yeah.
And the other problem is the performance that for sure is uneven,
yes.
That a well-bedded brake pads with the mechanical system of Sinter.
So we're going to have a look at a very special machine here in Evolve. I just want to touch on one thing you said there. I guess some people, they might fit a new set of pads, they'll go to the top of the mountain,
yeah, exactly.
And they'll try to warm the pads.
They try to warm up the brake pads during the trail, but it's very difficult to do it.
So what's the problem? Is the problem that people try to warm them up too quickly?
The problem is that usually the company that produce the brake pads say to the customers and to the mechanics too that they have to brake 30 times the brake pads, not to lock the wheel and not at the highest speed. So the problem is not everyone knows that they have to do properly to bed the brake pads.
So you could, in theory, then you could actually destroy a set of brake pads very quickly, right?
Yes, definitely, yes.
I tell you what, there's also nothing worse than a set of screaming brake pads up on the hill, is there?
No, it's very annoying me.
So me and Danilo, or should I say Danilo, is going to fit these new set of Sinter pads. I'll talk about the Sinter pads in a minute, and then we're going to move over to this pretty high-tech piece of machinery behind us.
Okay, so the first thing that we have to do now is to set up the machine. So we have 3 different setups with the diameters of the brake, the brake disc and the pistons that have the caliper. So in this case, 40A is 140 high stack with 2 pistons, 160 regular with 2 pistons, and another one is 203 with 4 piston regular. It means that is not the high stack disc. Mm-hmm. Here we have a 200 in the back regular with 4 pistons caliper. So I think 203 with 4 piston is the A1. We have to choose if we want to bed in the rear or the front. In this case is the rear. So from this point it became all more intuitive. So you have to put the bike on and starting bedding the brake pads.
Let's go. Wow, quite a long...
Scan.
Yeah.
So,
warmed up.
You want to do your front?
You want me to do the front?
Yes. Only the weight of the... and 24 kilometers per hour.
So what do I do now? Wait for instructions.
Now, load, till the brake.
I can't pull too hard. I keep it in the
You have to stay on the green, then release.
And then that cools off.
Yeah. Too much?
Ah, right, okay.
Good.
Wow, that's quite a sensory experience. You can certainly feel the improved performance of the brake as you go through the different cycles. So what the machine's actually doing is it's telling you to apply pressure, the right amount of pressure, because it goes from green, amber to red. If you're applying too much pressure, it makes you back off on the brake. And it gives you the amount of time that you hold the brake on for. And then there's a cooling off period where you let go of the brake. And then you pull the brake again. And progressively, you can feel that brake. There's such a nice feel to it as you go through the cycles, right?
Yeah.
Really cool. The first time I've ever bedded in a set of brakes in 58 years.
Right, Steve, into cool places. First one, I mean, Dan is a man of few words, says nature. But I like the photo, so there you go. So
I like your style.
It's
That's Canyon Spectral, isn't it?
yeah, and I thought, I like the vibes.
Looks nice in white.
Talking about vibes, Christine Squirrel Squeezer
Christine.
she's been riding around on frozen rivers. By the looks of it, she rode 30 kilometres to bathe in hot springs.
Christine, do you think now's appropriate time to talk about hardtails? Maybe not. Let's move on to Tony Jim.
Next up, Tony Jim, who's been following the Duncan Shaw School of Riding, but he says, here's a short clip showing the typical terrain I ride regularly, and if you maintain your e-bike motor, you can ride very, very wet winter conditions. He also goes on to say, P.S. Steve, maintenance isn't hard.
Well, see, that's the opposite to what Pete Collard of the e-bike motor says. He doesn't actually wash his e-bikes. He just keeps riding them.
Wow.
Which is my philosophy as well.
Yeah, also, I mean, there's some, I like it. There's some value in that advice, Steve. Except for your drivetrain, just going to wear itself to death.
I mean, a farmer doesn't go pressure washing his quad every day, goes and feeds the sheep, does he? Or let's come back, let's wash the quad. Oh yeah, let's oil the quad again. No, he's chuck it in the shed and go again the next day.
I wonder if some of them do. Get in touch if you're a farmer.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up, I like this. This is from Harrison, who has raced his 9th ever Elite World Champs. He was there at the first one. Let's check the photo from 1990.
Is that when Greg Herbold won the Worlds in Durango?
It was Durango.
Must have been. Oh, it is. There you go, Durango there.
Yeah, and now he's done 4 times XCO, but now 6 times e-mountain bike cross country. We don't talk about that very much, do we? The cross country e-bike world champs. He's been there, Leger, Scotland, Andorra.
Harrison looking fit, isn't he?
Riding the Crest Line. It's a big bike, isn't it, for essentially a cross country race?
Yeah. Nice bike, the Crest Line. Wow, fair dues, Harrison. Maybe we should catch up. Maybe you could catch up with Harrison out at Sea Otter in the next few weeks.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah. Right, getting into the feedback. We've been reading your comments from various videos during the last week. Actually, there's a couple from the video I did about if I started e-mountain biking today, tips and kit and things I would do. Missagoo29 says, I haven't ridden a bike since 2014 when I got diagnosed with MS. I had to give up XC. And now I feel like with e-mountain bikes, might have a chance now to start riding again soon. Yes, a friend of mine has MS and rides an e-mountain bike regularly, so definitely worth trying it out.
By the way, is that video open to other tips other people can give you?
I asked for comments because actually the next one.
Okay, here we go.
From Tony Jim. Says, always have a buff neck tube with me, even if I'm not wearing it at the start of my ride. It's been a lifesaver whether weather turns cold, but there's loads more in there as well.
Do you remember when...
Wellies, is it coming to Wellies? I know it's somehow we're going to get to Wellies.
Do you remember when Buff turned up at the National Downhill races?
They sponsored it, didn't they? Yeah.
They did, didn't they? Do you remember? Buffs everywhere.
You know what? I've got loads of them. I thought the other day, I was like, where have all my buffs gone? Because I would probably use one nowadays.
Who used to sponsor the National Downhill? There was a beer sponsor one year, do you remember?
Coors?
Is it Coors? No, there was another one.
Toyota RAV4.
There's RAV4s kicking around everywhere.
Yeah. Steve, do you have any tips for someone that was going to start e-mountain bikes today that isn't involved?
Don't mollycoddle your bike. Don't go overwashing your bike. I'm being serious.
No,
I think you can overdo it.
Predictable.
And I think of Pete Collard, again, second time I mentioned Pete in today's show, he also says, don't mollycoddle your e-bikes.
Yeah, and you don't spend any money looking after yours, do you?
Let's not get into that. One final comment, Type 2 Fun. This is on from the dark day in Italy, the adventure video which we did. Well, it turned into an adventure, put it that way. Actually, there's a few behind-the-scenes parts to that which we didn't go into. The web is full of glory videos with everything manicured and lovely. This is why you ride. I'm guessing, Steve, you're implying there that it's good to ride natural trails rather than manicured ones, which is...
You know what, I haven't done any Type 2 fun for a long time, and I haven't really missed it.
Was Type 2 Fun a thing?
Yeah, it's the one where you don't enjoy it at all when you're doing it. It's like running a marathon. And you're a runner, you should know about Type 2 Fun.
Well, I've actually just signed up to Nike Run Club. Oh, see, he's looking. Joe behind you, he's a prolific runner. He's also from West Wales.
So you'll know all about Type 2 Fun very soon.
Right, can't wait.
Into the bike vault, Phantom. And does it feel like we're surrounded by Santa Cruz Valors? They're everywhere. Every week.
No, funny thing is, I was in Flow Bike Shop in Sintra last week and I did a video with a Santa Cruz Valor.
Yeah, I mean, people are sending them to us a lot. And this is...
it's a great bike. It's a great bike. It's a great enduro bike.
This is in the Santa Cruz Mountains, so apt as well.
Didn't you used to ride for Santa Cruz?
I did, and I've ridden in the Santa Cruz Mountains quite a few times. And actually, I watched Return of the Jedi last night. Exactly.
It was Chewbacca.
What was that?
It's Chewbacca.
I thought sounds more...
Chewbacca? Go on, you do a Chewbacca then.
That sounded more like the friggin'...
By the way,
Go on.
this is from Santa Cruz as well.
True.
Yeah. You went shopping in Santa Cruz a few years ago, didn't you? With Blake, remember? Yeah, go on, tell everyone.
Don't remember. Oh.
Yeah. It's a super nice. Next up, this is a top the port hills. What? Doesn't make sense.
Atop the
Port Hills, Canterbury.
And where's
Canterbury,
that?
New Zealand.
Sounds like it to me.
Weekly view from the Port Hills Trails on my giant E Plus and the Blue Dragonfly.
Super nice.
Kane. Nikolai MGU in Croatia. eMTB.
Yeah,
It's a belter. Had some great times on the MGU this year. This is super nice.
Have you ridden in Croatia, Steve?
Yeah. Yes, I have. We did a video with Chris a few years ago.
You did, I remember.
Really cool place. Very limestoney, most of the country.
Well, that surprised me. This looks a bit more green.
Hold on, where are we here now? We moved on to Gary.
Gary and his brand spanky Intense Taser MX. First new bike for years.
Nice.
I thought it was interesting because Gary says it was only possible due to the poor state of the bike market. My local bike shop had this with a 47% discount. So some bonuses, as we were talking about earlier. Maybe prices are coming down.
Maybe they are. Gary, super nice. Sorry, I've been drinking water. I haven't drunk enough water today, though.
Next, we're off to the Derbyshire Peaks with Jack Smith.
Jackie Smith.
2022 Cannondale Moterra Neo 3.
Surely it's a super nice, he says.
Well, that's what. If someone asks for a super nice, does that disqualify?
I don't know what the rules are.
No, I'm not sure. I think that's.
I mean, you started this bike back
I did.
10
It's
years
supposed
ago.
to be like Reader's Bikes.
Readers' Bikes.
Yeah.
We can change it. Right, okay, what about Alessio? Alessio's first proper ride with my DIY eMTB up this volcano in La Palma. Alessio, let us know what's going on with La Palma because, obviously there was the eruption there 3 years ago.
Yeah.
A beautiful place, such devastation. I think it was like 3,000 people had to be evacuated. This is a 171 60mm carbon frame, the Fang M510, 840 watt battery. Wow. I mean, I looked into doing a build similar to this, and a very good value bike. I was looking at the Marzocchi fork and a motor, a nondescript motor from China, and put one of those motors in. So I expect that was very good value. And that is it from this week's Bike Vault, and we're just going to give Alessio a super nice to wrap things up.
Definitely. Getting social this week. This is a YouTube video. I'm mixing up the rules here. I'm not just throwing it on social media anymore.
Brage Vastovic.
Because I love this. This is the first mountain bike video in ages. I've sat down, and it's not even e-mountain bike, Steve. I've snuck this one in here.
He's a great rider, isn't he?
And
super stylish.
I wouldn't say I'm like a massive free ride fan because it used to bore me a bit, but this is really, really interesting.
Whoa. No, you have to. I'm going to stop you there.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to be a quick one because we've got a video of freeride coming up pretty soon. So basically, freeride was a thing that started off guys jumping off cliffs in North America back in around about late 90s, 2000s.
True.
Correct?
I believe so.
Didn't ever really hit Europe. I think what happened to Europe became these big jumps. Yeah. Me and you did dabble in a bit of freeride, didn't we? In terms of the wall ride that you did?
Yeah.
Come on, Don. Underselling yourself here.
No, I sort of agree. Maybe that's because I feel like a lot, there's lots of people doing that style of riding, but
that was probably the only time freeride was done in the UK.
Yeah. And actually I got, it's completely different because Braga is in Alaska, but I used to love...
So modest.
Well, I used to love watching this style of snowboard video, and you just go and watch it, it's brilliant. It's about 20 minutes long, but it's really, really good.
Planet Alaska.
Yes, that's the name of it.
Yeah.
Getting a bit more local here and talking about my local woods, Eastridge, and I thought this was very interesting. It is a forestry England woodland with what would you call them? Sort of it's kind of a trail centre with the trails. It's all really natural. There's no man-made stuff, with surface trails. But they've built the very first e-bike climb.
Whoa.
In the woods, which is like a turning point for my local woods.
Hold on, this is lead news story.
Is it?
This is massive.
And
this is massive.
Obviously, I've not been there for quite a few months, so this is going to change the way I ride that woods. And I can't wait to ride it. Obviously, it's very local to me, but I thought this was really interesting.
This is massively interesting. Take this to there to take pressure off the pipe track.
Well,
You can't be taking pressure off the pipe track, right?
Well, it's gonna reduce the. I mean, there aren't many conflicts, but it's going to reduce people riding along a track that people walk along. But also, it's going to take a lot of the bike traffic off of the road.
Could you? I mean, what my one criticism has got some language here I don't understand. Climb only mon. What does that mean?
Mon means mate, friend.
Is mon mean mate?
Shropshire talking.
So when you're up in Shropshire trying out this climb at Eastridge, just don't forget mon means mate. This is massive news, Dom. We need to follow up on this.
Well, I'm going to try it at some point next week. Hopefully.
Wow. Hey, you be careful.
I will. I've got another one. This is Carlos Langelan, who is new to me, but check out this gap that he's doing on his Moterra SL. Very impressive rider. It's cool, isn't it?
That's pretty big, that, isn't it? And something all new is coming from White Bikes on the 6th of March. I thought it was the 7th of March. Clearly it's the 6th. Might need to change that in my calendar, right?
Exactly.
6th of March, folks. New news, new bike coming from White by the looks of it. I mean, I was in Sintra last week with Chris Ackrig.
There you go.
Okay, that's it for this week's EMBN show. Coming up on the channel in the next few days, a very, very important video about the importance of weight on an eMTB. Now, I know I had my hammers on the table back at home a few weeks ago, but actually, what is the three-dimensional geometry which leads to great handling e-mountain bikes? Because at the end of the day, as the Don has found out, it's not actually about how much the bike weighs, it's where the weight is. That's a video coming out on Friday, and centre of gravity is a big part of that, isn't it?
It's really complex, what I came to learn, but it's very interesting, yeah. So that's coming out on Friday.
And then on Sunday is a follow-up, which talks about actually what's the sweet spot when it comes to suspension travel as well. So 2 very important videos for you, the rider, coming up in the next few days. See you next week.
See ya.